Welcome to another edition of Hall Talk, guys. My name is Lil Silvera. With me is Matt Ambrose and Dylan Shreeman. We have a very special show for you guys. It's Seton Hall Awards Show. We'll be choosing our favorite male athlete, female athlete, and respective teams, and especially our favorite moments of the year. So stick around. This is the last episode of the year. It should be a good one. Welcome back to Hall Talk, guys. Like I said in the rundown, this is our last show of the year, so I think we should get started with the show. So I will introduce my panel once again. Matt, Dylan, thank you again for being here. And so we will begin with Male Athlete of the Year. There was a lot of candidates, a lot of exciting players this year, newcomers and veterans. But Matt, I will start with you. Who is your favorite male athlete of this school year?
I'm going to go to the Big East champion men's swimming and diving team and go with Noah Yanchulis. This guy was named Big East Most Outstanding Swimmer for the second consecutive season. This guy was just a difference maker on the swimming and diving team. Won 4 different Big East titles during the year. Won the 200 and 500 free, as well as the 400 and 800 freestyle relays. He really was able to lead this team to the top. This team had this goal all year long to get to Big East and to win it. And after not being able to do it last season, to come back in 2016, 2017 and be able to do it, Noah Yanchulis is my best male athlete.
He definitely broke records, and he had a championship performance to lead his team to the first ever Big East tournament. So I like that pick. Dylan, what about you? Who was your male athlete of the year this year?
I'm going to the basketball court, so I'm going with Angel Delgado. The amount of awards that he won, outstanding. The Haggerty Award winner this year was named unanimously to the All Big East team, and also led the nation in rebounding, led the entire NCAA in rebounding and offensive rebounding. The amount of work he did this year for this team was impressive. Another stat that's also impressive, 13 consecutive double-doubles at one point was the most consecutive for any NCAA player. So the grind was impressive, the stats were impressive, and I think it's a great choice.
And not only on the court was he such an impactful player, but off the court as well. I mean, you would hear him in post-game interviews. He always led a rallying cry for his team to, play hard, look forward to the next opponent, whether it was the number 1 ranked team in the nation or the last place team. He always went out and gave it 110%. So both of you guys, I would have to agree. If you make me choose one of those, you can't go wrong with either of those, which they both won Best Junior Athletes this year. So hopefully they both come back ready and healthy to start a new senior season for the following fall. For my male athlete, though, I'm going to be a little biased, guys. I'm going to go with the beautiful game, and that is the game of soccer. And I'm going to go with Jonathan Jimenez. The guy was absolutely unreal. He blew everyone's expectations. He's only a freshman. And if you look at stats, because this is a very stats-driven league, he had 2 goals, 5 assists. Not bad numbers, not unbelievable numbers like, say, Angel Delgado or Noah Yanchulis. But the guy did everything right in terms of moving off the ball, moving with the ball, finding his teammates, pressuring the defenders. He completed so many games without being subbed out because he proved to Jerson Echeverry that he belongs on the field to give his team a way to get a victory. And for men's soccer, there wasn't that many bright moments in the year, but Jonathan Jimenez, the kid from Florida, he really was a bright spot this year. And so now, Dylan, I'll start with you with the female side. Who was your female athlete of the year for Seton Hall? I'm
staying on the basketball court. I'm picking Jaquan Jackson. To transfer into a new school, you have a new system, and the way she acclimated herself into Tony Pizzello's system was very impressive, ranked high among the Big East in many categories, including scoring, three-pointers, steals, and even putting up over 30 points in the game against St. John's. It's impressive the way she came in and really helped this team. It was a young basketball team this season, and for her to come in and be a leader, and we even heard Coach Pizzello comment on that all season long, my award has to go to her.
Quana Jackson, and it's crazy how she's still going to be eligible for multiple years at the Hall. So we look forward to seeing her play, especially with this improving team and Coach Pizzella. Matt, what about you? Who is your female athlete?
I'm going to go to the fall sports, and Tessa Fournier, a senior on this team, named Big East Libero of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. a senior leader on this young team, and this volleyball team really didn't do all that much. They finished with a 500 record, but she's really kind of overlooked at this at this school. And for her to get all these accolades in her time at Seton Hall, I have to go with her this year.
She definitely was more of a silent leader, you could
is.
say,
Yeah.
but definitely a leader at that. And yeah, I mean, I like your choice, especially with the whole California representation there. We will miss her next year in the volleyball courts. And for my female athlete, guys, I have to go with the sport going on right now, and that's the softball team. Alexis Walkden, the junior third baseman for the team, she's back, guys. I mean, freshman year she came out with a bang. Sophomore year she kind of had a little bit of a slump. Weren't terrible numbers, but this year she's back at it again. She actually is the first softball player in program history to record 10 home runs and 10 stolen bases in a year. And that says a lot if you're the only person to do that in your school's history. And she's definitely a big reason why this softball offense, you're going to talk about in a little bit, of how impressive they have been and kept them in games and they have a respectable record so far in the softball season. So Alexis Walkden, to me, I mean, 11 home runs, 10 stolen bases, and they still have 6 more games to go in the year. That's quite impressive for Alexis Walkden, and someone, again, who we're going to see next year at the Hall. And Dylan, we're moving away from individual, and now we're going to go to whole teams now. Maybe there'll be some debate because, I mean, there's a lot of options, tight races for who could be the best men's or women's team. But we're going to go with men's first. Dylan, I'll start with you. Who was your male team of the year?
It was difficult to choose, obviously. I was between basketball and swimming and diving. I ended up going with the men's swimming and diving team, winning the Big East Championship this year. I gave them a bit of advantage in the way they did it, their first ever Big East Championship in program history, and the record-setting way that they did it was impressive, especially on the final day to wrap it up. And if you just look at some of the records, it's pretty impressive. They didn't lose a match or a meet at home. They didn't lose one on neutral. It was only a way that they struggled with. And you can't argue with the conference championship, Matt.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's what separates them. I agree with you. The men's swimming and diving team is my male team of the year because of the Big East Championship. And just talking to these guys, the kind of mindset they have, they're not separate entities. They are all one. They care about each other more than they care about what they're doing in the pool. You talk to guys like Lior Gruber, Dakota, just go down the list. Guys like that, Noah Yanchula, so I started off with. You talk to those guys and they care about their teammates. They put their individual accolades in the back seat. They want the team to have success, and that's what led them to the championship.
The past 2 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs with this team. And what makes this championship run that they had as impressive as it is, because we all remember the drama that had happened last year with some athletes having to be kicked out of the team because of off-pool issues, you could say. And so for them to come back this year and get a championship, I mean, you have to respect what they did. You have to respect the coaching staff, the players on both women's and men's to focus and get this group on the right path again into having a successful year.
It's impressive because they're a very tight-knit group,
Right.
and it helped them a lot. Team
Right.
chemistry is huge with them.
And so now we'll start with the women's side, and I guess I'll go first so we can break the order here. I'm gonna stick in the pool, guys. I'm gonna go with women's swim and dive. They didn't get the championship like the men's team did, but they were third in the tournament. And I want to focus outside of school because outside of the pool, because academically this team was really impressive, and these are indeed student athletes. They were a fourth of the all-academic team for Seton Hall on just the women's side alone. So it is, as an impressive feat, it's something you have to respect. And senior scholar athletes, they had Erica Newman and some others where they not only showed it in the swimming pool, but in the classroom as well. So to me, I tip my hat off to the women's side. What about you guys?
I'm going to go with a sport that's going on right now, and Lewis, you led into it just a minute ago, the softball team. They're only a game above 500 right now, but this team has an absolute juggernaut of an offense. Talk about Alexis Walkden, who you touched on. Lauren Fisher, who does it at the plate and in the circle. At the plate, hitting .333 this year with 10 home runs and also a 3.76 ERA out on the mound. Destiny Peck as well, with 28 RBIs and a batting average over 300. And also the freshmen are contributing. Darby Pandolfo, Haley Arteaga. Players like this are contributing at the plate, driving in runs. This offense is just a very well-oiled machine, and it's got them to where they are right now. I have to give it to them.
Dylan, what about you?
If Lauren Fisher can continue to pitch, they can make some noise. I went with the women's volleyball team. I went back to the fall, and their record was only 500, but the way they finished the season was absolutely impressive. And I remember calling a radio call for WSU against Nova when they won an exciting 5 match here at Walsh Gymnasium. They were on the bubble. No one knew if they were going to make the Big East tournament, and then they win 5 of 6 to get into the Big East tournament. And just like the basketball team, women's here on campus, it's a young team. They still can make some noise. I know you mentioned Tessa Fournier earlier, and that's going to be a huge loss. But moving forward, it's exciting to see next year what they can do, and especially the way they ended the season. I know they lost to Creighton in the Big East tournament, but what they did to end the season, it's going to be exciting times next fall.
I think they're set up well with their youth as well. They had a lot of young players contribute a lot this year. Sophia Coffey is just a sophomore. They got a bright future.
They really do. Both of the teams that you guys mentioned, and not only them, but basketball as well, golf. I mean, every women's side who Seton Hall has a very bright future if you go down the list. And so, guys, we've talked about athletes, we've talked about teams. Now I want to ask you guys what your favorite moment was. There was a lot of exciting moments either on campus, at Prudential Center, or away that we could see highlight reels from. So I want to ask you, Matt, I'll go first with you. What was your favorite moment of this school year?
Took place at Hinkle Fieldhouse in the beginning of March. Miles Powell with that dagger 3-pointer at the end of that game against Butler that essentially sealed.
It was a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, it was a huge sigh of relief. All these Pirate fans worrying, are they going to get in the tournament? Are they not? That ended all that conversation right there. Powell hitting that 3, getting that signature win against a top 25 team in Butler. That's my moment.
And at Hinkle Fieldhouse, it just felt
It's
nice.
just-
right?
it's
just to
nice.
quiet
Yes.
that really rowdy stadium. It must have
One
been
of
really
the toughest places to play in the whole country. So,
Dylan, what about you?
This was definitely the hardest one to choose for me. I know we were talking about it before the show. I'm going to go with the media day, the package that we did here for Pirate TV. It was impressive. It was nice to talk to all the players and see their perspective before the season. And I remember doing a rapid fire with Javon Thomas, and that was probably one of the most fun segments I've ever done here at Pirate Television, just to take the air off and the relief off of the seriousness. It was really impressive in the way he handled it and allowed me to do it. His character was off the charts, and despite all the allegations, so I'm going to go with that.
It's definitely a nice thing that Seton Hall allows us to cover these teams, whether you're newspaper, radio, or television. For my moment, guys, it has to be the moment before the Villanova game. Yes, I know Seton Hall lost at Prudential Center, but the moment before, you could just feel the excitement in the air. Everyone, they opened the upper deck. There was over 16,000 fans. That's a record for a Seton Hall men's basketball game at Prudential Center. And then Anna Negron, the Seton Hall alumna, she sings the national anthem unlike anyone else. And then everyone just feeling the excitement in the crowd. And the game started out pretty well, but it was my last Villanova game at Prudential, and it was against the number 2 ranked team. And just me seeing Prudential Center like that after 4 years of coming to Seton Hall was unbelievable. I'll never forget it. It was equal to seeing a Big East tournament game at Madison Square Garden. It really was unforgettable.
And I remember working that game with you. Impressive how loud it was, especially the Facebook Live we did before the game, pumping up the crowd. That's one we'll never forget. That's the loudest I've personally seen Prudential Center.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for the answers that we have for you. But don't go away. We will be back and say a final goodbye with the whole cast and crew. But for now, here's some pictures of throughout the year here at Pirate Television Studios. So, guys, these are the many faces that you don't get to see throughout the shows. This is a very talented crew, producers, directors, sound people, camera people, whatever it is. But from all of them to you, have a very happy summer. Thank you so much for watching, and it's been a very great ride. So, happy summer, guys.